Comrades, I am Admiral Andre. Welcome back to Realpolitiks. This is episode 11 and the year 2046. We have just successfully colonized Mars, so we are the dominant force in space, which I'm sure has shocked a lot of countries that South Africa has managed to do that. And it really comes down to the political will and, of course, mustering up the finances, but that can always be arranged in some way. So, other things happening. We've, of course, got this disease that we're fighting, this mysterious disease that's broken out, I think, in Bolivia, but it spread pretty much throughout the world, except for us and a few other countries. And then the Olympics has come back again after many years, and we're bidding for that as well, which is going to give us a nice bit of score and some HDI as well. Then also we're trying to overthrow the government of Palestine. It's strange that the Israelis are not doing anything, even though Palestine is a terror exporter. But there's been a strange realignment here anyway. Israel is no longer aligned with the US, it's in the bloc of China. So there we go. Something interesting happening in the world, apart from the continuous bombs falling in India and China and Pakistan. So let's see, we've got an empty slot. Let's just have a look at what we can do there. Let's see, trade maybe? No, we've got all of that sorted out and we still have a large excess. Maybe something with the military again. What can we do? Money is of course going to be a big problem now because we have to divert funds to the Olympics and the disease fund. So if we can get something that doesn't take money, it will be great. But of course everything in life takes money. Let's just see. Super electromagnetics maybe? That's not too expensive. Super EMP weapons that shoot bursts of electromagnetic energy and are capable of stopping engines. I wonder how this is going to manifest itself in a battle. Or is this simply about the score? I would like us to be able to use this in real fights, you know. Anyway, let's do it. It's a bit of score and we're still trying to get into the top 5 club. So let's run with that. Economic growth seems to be happening steadily. We still have a huge surplus of action points, but in the political realm, having action points is always a good thing. Then money, yes, that's the thing. So we'll just have to keep an eye on these tickers here now. Uganda declared bankruptcy. That's not good. And what was this? Unhappiness again, but that should go down. What's this? Deimos. Deimos, one of Mars's moons, could also be suitable for colonization. Should we begin preparations? Someone may beat us to the punch if we wait, and that someone is of course Japan, who is on Phobos at the moment. So if I do nothing, Japan will get Deimos, or Deimos, I guess is the better way. Which is not necessarily the worst thing because we already have Mars, so these are tiny little moons. But then again, you know, get province, claim as core, change culture, money and action points. I'm gonna claim it. There might be a conflict brewing with Japan over this because they were also the ones before who complained that some countries, namely us, are getting all of the space assets while the rest are getting none. So ironically then, but maybe that's why then, they bid for Phobos and they managed to get it. So we're going to cut them off there. It will be ours. So what happened? Did we now get it? It is ours, yes, so they are relegated to Phobos. Uh-oh, what happened? Deimos, one of the moons, but I already did this. Okay, do it again. Are we now competing continuously? Oh well, whatever the case, their loan was taken out, so I don't even have to do that manually. Uh-oh, do that. Yes, so it can just take out the loans automatically. That's fine. The Olympics. So I guess maybe they also put in their bid at the same time that we did. Our agents report that the influence political system in Palestine success. No idea what hit them, so we get score and so on. Let's have a look if it made a real difference. It'll probably not make a difference immediately, only in the next election. I don't know, it looks like it's going down a bit, but it's too little to tell. Let's see, what's this? Peace treaty between North Korea and the bloc of India expired, so they were also involved in that Chinese-Indian war. Peace treaty, so China and India might go at it again, but hopefully not. Russia and the Baltic Union, so there might be some more action. In fact, this I would almost bet money on, that Russia's going to go for either Lithuania or Estonia. Influence and loans, bankruptcy. Hopefully we don't go the way of Uganda. So yes, interesting enough, we now got another moon there. What's this? Millions, This is just becoming a bit overwhelming, you know, for us to keep paying for everything. Now there's another project. Millions and millions suffer from cancer. Every year the number of deaths grows to seemingly no end. Many doctors have tried to find an actual cure, but thus far no one has succeeded, which is depressing given that it's 2047. I hope that doesn't happen in real life. It's time to finally change it and declare a full-fledged war against this vicious disease. It's time to find the cure for cancer. Again, I will rather bankrupt this country than not do it, because this will benefit all of humanity, including our own citizens. Of course, I don't want to bankrupt us, but I will. It's relatively cheap anyway. 200. So let's see, find a cure. Whoever donates the most will surely earn the most prestige. 500, 5,000, there's lots of relations with the world and a bit more population growth, because finally people won't be dying from cancer anymore. But the others will also get something second and third place, because this is a noble effort. So let's do it. Very noble effort. Let me just keep this in mind now, because there's so much happening. So, first one is almost done. This mysterious disease. Pay for that. And just stop there. I think I'm going to have to raise the income tax again. Probably to about 30 or 35 even. It's painful. I know, I'm sorry. There we go. 35. So I'll put it back down again once these projects are over. But I'm sure the public can get behind all of these things. Maybe they'll say the Olympics and so on, it's not that important. But the cancer thing and the disease thing are both very important. I just want to see, while we're paused, what are we getting from Deimos? 17. Okay, it's not as rich as Phobos, but it's something. And is it still ours? Let's just make 100% sure, yes. And of course Phobos is Japan's territory. So they did miss out on that, but I'm sure now our relations will be very damaged. Let's just see if that is true. Wrong one. There we go. Japan. Yes, you can see, look at that. They don't like us so much. 40. Yes, it's a little bit on the negative side, but it is what it is. Sorry, Japan. You missed out, but you got something, so you can't now say only a few countries or only one country has all of the space resources. So, universal military service is active. Let me just stop that and think about the next one. Cybernetics, maybe? What does that mean? 500. It's not too bad. Using cybernetics to develop improvements in soldiers' equipment. Thank goodness not in the soldiers themselves. That's pushing it too far. But I still wonder. It doesn't say here, but I assume it would improve our military fighting capability. Otherwise, why are we doing this? But let's do it anyway. I want to see what happens. That money is going to be a problem, but okay, we'll see. After this, we'll have to be very conservative for a few years and not do anything. Hey, that's just so interesting. I love that space aspect. The Olympics, come on. I think if we can win out on all of these projects, which is not a guarantee, but at least if we try, then the prestige that we get from that should push us into the top 5. The UN is making the next selection, so I don't know who changed here. India, I don't know. Ah, Germany is above China now. That's interesting. Is everyone still happy in the stock exchange? Looks like. Uh-oh. Fight the disease. Wait, stop. Japan got that. That was a quick funding drive. Oh well, we also... Hey, we tie number 1. Okay, so we still get the score. So it seems like our main rival in the world right now is Japan, strangely enough. So, taken victim after victim. And you know, this might be bad for like a competition, but for the world this is good now because they get more money for the funding against this disease. So we get HDI of 10 like they do, we get 500, hey, we're fourth in the world, now we're getting somewhere. Project maintenance is down, action points, great stuff. So I think we can be happy about that one. Let's have a look and hope that this stays here. You see how close behind the UK is. It's only in the next, next year that this will become formal. So it's not settled yet. Let's see, Russia's still very bad in the world's eyes. I wonder if they're waiting for this to go down a bit before making their next move. Malta declared bankruptcy, that's not good. Come on, Olympics almost done. There we go. Somalia joined the bloc of Indonesia. That's interesting. Let's hope Somalia is a lot better off in the future than it is today and has been in the past few decades. Cancer cure, come on. What happened? Guinea declared bankruptcy. It seems to become a theme now, you know. Let's be careful and hope this isn't an omen. Here you go. Let's see. Money 3,600 in debt. That's not too bad yet. Wait, stop. Something happened. The Chinese suddenly have a high warmonger and there's a war with Taiwan. Okay, so it finally happened. Let me just fix the US in the stock exchange and Mexico. That money is too good to resist. War between China People's Republic and Republic of China. So I assume by this it means that the People's Republic attacked Taiwan. And then of course there was all the others. Uzbekistan also bankrupt, so another of the Indian allies. Okay, let's have a look. Now, is there any block for Taiwan? Doesn't look like it, no. So they're on their own. That means it's over. Definitely, I don't see them winning against China, or at least the other China. Oh well, it is what it is, I guess. And they don't have nuclear weapons as far as I know. We can of course confirm that. No, they don't, so China is going to finish them off one way or the other. Kyrgyzstan is bankrupt, so another... Is this also India? Yep, another Indian ally. I don't want to be an Indian ally. They're pouring everything into the wars, but so far it looks bad. But okay, and there was another one in Taiwan, just like I said. National movement in Mexico. Texas, uh-oh. The Southwest, the West Coast. These lands were Mexican before the War of 1848 with the US. And they will be Mexican again. Right after the 21st century war with the US. Well, I don't know. I hope for the best, but I don't see that happening. So let's see what happened here. HQ attack. So India attacked Pakistan. And what was the other one? China, of course, attacked the HQ of Taiwan. So that was again uncalled for. They are not a nuclear power. And they are a lot smaller than you are, so come on now, play fair. But in politics and what did they say, in love and war, everything is fair, so there we go. But India, let's just see this. 16%, that's not decisive yet. And there is still this war between the US and Mexico that I actually forgot about. So it's interesting that now they want to claim Texas and all these other places, but they're losing, so there's no way they're gonna do that. Oh well, there's so many wars all over the place now. There's 3 major wars in the world, not including these like rebellions. But again, this makes us look good because our war score looks very small compared to the others. And the cancer is back, so there we go, or the fund at least. Uh-oh. This is bad. Moonlight demand. One of the so-called superpowers demands that we give them our colony on Deimos. They say that they say they were preparing their own expedition before us, and we had no right to take their spot. Apparently, they will use force if necessary. Uh-oh. What now? And of all countries, it has to be Russia. And they're not in a war at the moment, so that means they can throw everything they've got against us. If I say in space no one can hear you say meh, then they get the moon and we get better relations. But should I do that now? Should I say meh? I don't want to say that. But if they will use force against us, we will lose, and then we might lose even more than just Deimos. There's no way I'm a match for Russia, and I have no bloc of my own. Should I give it? But then what stops the next demand from being Mars? I think I'm going to give them this one. Because in politics you have to play for the big picture. And the big picture in that sense is Mars itself. So if I push them on Deimos and they push back, then they can obviously beat us in a war. They'll just nuke us anyway. Then in the peace treaty they will claim Deimos and probably Mars and maybe even the moon and the Lagrange point and who knows what else. They don't care about war score. I think we've determined that. So if I give in on this one, then hopefully we can stop them from taking those bigger prizes. But then again, this is now what I'll say, because I don't like, this appeasement nonsense. So I'll say this. We'll give them Deimos, but if they try and take anything else from us, we fight them to the death. So, at least in that sense, I will be able to say we tried for peace, and we took the high ground, like Michelle Obama said, you take the high ground or the high road. So, I hate to do it, but Deimos is a small prize, so go for it, Russia, enjoy. But don't push your luck. We are still the superpower in space. So, the Olympics, and we won it. We're third in the world now, so Russia better watch out, but I think we really need to work more on the military, and with new urgency. So we have the new HDI, which we now have 110, so we actually got that task as well. GDP growth will go up, taxes will go up. Oh, wonderful. So we can now recoup the money that we spent on all these projects. And our relations with the whole world will also go up. Unhappiness down. That's fantastic. So for a while at least, everyone in our country can forget about their troubles and just have fun at the Olympics. And we can bring the world together in this very divided time that we live in 2047, as today. So, close that one, and we've done that, so we should get another task soon, and we just have to keep up with the Cancer Fund. World Trade, what's that? Wrong one. Introduce the Import Infrastructure Project. But why should I do that? Because we're a major exporter of natural resources. I think I'll skip on that for now. Maybe one day our economy will grow so large that we'll need to import resources. Then I'll anyway have to do that, so I'll leave it for now. The United States of Central America. Honduras is the instigator on that front. Central American countries are afraid of growing Mexican ambitions. So they've decided to put aside their differences and create a formal union, this United States of Central America. And it includes Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador and Guatemala. Well, good for them, I guess. Uh-oh, diplomatic crisis between the US and China. The two that we saw before that were starting to become a bit unpleasant in terms of the Pacific Ocean and China's claiming there. There's no way we can sit on the fence, so of course I'll support the US. That's very clear, I think. Mexico is still in the fight, but now to their south is a united bloc. Hey, I don't feel too good about the appeasement that we did here, but then again, peace has a high price. And at least hopefully we can keep our other gains, namely Mars and the Moon and so on. But this sets a grudge against Russia for the rest of time. Project implemented super electromagnetics, so hopefully we're a world leader there and the Russians will be at a disadvantage if we ever come to a fight with them. Ray guns that shoot very hot energy beams that cause serious burns and even immediate death. So we see here we now get an effect. Armor attack versus armor is +1. Which is, again, it doesn't seem really worth it. For plasma weapons, you'd expect it's like +10 or 100. But okay, we'll do it. I'll pay for that because I think we're feeling the heat now. Now that we're playing in the big leagues, the other big players are starting to see us as a threat. And they want our prize. So South Africa is almost 40% of the world stock exchange still, and the other members haven't tried to break off yet. And Taiwan, I bet you. No, wrong. Pakistan is the instigator and attacked India's HQ but failed. It's still minor problems, but when it comes to nukes, there's no such thing as a minor problem. So what's next for us? Let me think for a moment. Let's see, the taxes, the debt and all of that, we need to repay that. Uh-oh, totally forgot about the cancer fund. Let me repay some of the debt at least. I'll feel a bit better if we can just get about 1,500 or so out of the way. There we go, it's something. Our war score is still quite high. It's taking a long time to go away. Much longer than I would have hoped. Germany status, did I now look at this? Yes. So Mars, what are we getting from you again? 62 compared to the Moon, which is 37. So it's at least a much better source of minerals. Pakistan declared bankruptcy again. Panama also. Maybe one day we'll get Deimos back, but I'm not too eager, you know. It's I would rather keep Mars than Deimos. Cybernetics. Okay, let's see. Is there another good one? Smart mines, maybe? Infantry attack. This is what we want. Mines are able to self-destruct or self-deactivate on demand and to redeploy themselves when their neighbors detonate or are removed. That's interesting, but it sounds incredibly dangerous, but okay. You know, as a last resort against the Russians. The moon tourism thing is still going to take a few years, which is understandable. I mean, building an entire infrastructure on the moon is a very painstaking business. Peace between the US and Mexico. I assume Mexico lost. Yes, they did, and they lost the entire Chihuahua. Well, in this game, this entire northern area is the Chihuahua province or state. So, yes, Mexico is now going to, it's ironic because they claimed Texas and all of these other places, but now they lost even more. So they're going to add that to their list of nationalist demands. So the US just got another state. Interesting. I guess they call this one the Chihuahua state, which would not be the best name ever, but okay. Cancer cure. So how did we do? We did it, and Germany was second by a long margin, so we did give the biggest contribution. So the whole world will like us more now. Population growth, of course, action points, score, and yes, that's it. So France was also in it, and Australia and Japan. That's a lot of players. So Japan again went for it. And the first time we see Australia and France in these kinds of funding campaigns. Okay, so we're third now in the world. By quite a big margin again. Let's just hope this gets formalized, because I'll really like these max capacities and things. Now I actually feel sad because there's nothing else to invest in. But yes, this is the time to start paying back the money. Pay the debt, which we can surprisingly easily do now. Look at how much money we're getting, 980 something. Okay, it's dropping precariously very quickly for some reason. But okay, whatever. It's still a lot more than it ever was before, and this is of course probably through these, tax bonuses and things that we got from the various missions here. Let's see, there's a few degrading members. That should do. Who got it this time? Taiwan again. Come on, China. They are lost. There's nothing they can do. Why do you insist on doing this? This is almost like just revenge, for the years and years that they were not part of the People's Republic. So the US also has a high warmonger level because they claim Chihuahua. And let's see, is there anything else happening? It seems rather precariously quiet at the moment. Whatever happened in Palestine? No, they're still an authoritarian country. Uh-oh, famous scientist. This could be bad. We see the US here. A top government scientist wishes to leave our country and move to a better place. Losing him would be quite a blow to our R&D. And he wants to go to the US. He can go, we don't need him, then we get... No, the US gets score, we lose score, but we get better relations with the US and we get unhappiness. Confiscate his passport, he's not going anywhere, then the US likes us less. There's more unhappiness. I'm gonna try the middle way. Maybe we can convince him to stay by giving him a lot of money. I don't want to, prevent him from going. Although this is not necessarily the worst penalty, because the unhappiness will go down, the relations will go back relatively quick. But let's see, maybe we can convince him. Let's hope that wasn't the wrong thing to do. Antarctic colonization. I had to take a second to reread that. United States. So the US is now going back into a phase of being more aggressive, I guess, in the world, or more assertive at least. Lately there's been a lot of talk about the full colonization of Antarctica. Years ago, the Antarctic Treaty was signed, which divided the continent between the USA, France, Norway, Russia and the UK. But in today's world, the old treaties are worthless, and few want to adhere to them. Antarctica is a tasty morsel and everyone wants a piece of it for themselves. So why aren't we here? I'll just have to say okay, but there we go. And technically that treaty did not divide the continent up, unless they're talking about a fictional one, because the treaty of, I think, 1950 or 1951 prevented any claims of Antarctica. So what happened? Oh, he left. We were unable to convince this scientist. He's leaving and there's nothing we can do to stop him. And we get less score anyway and more unhappiness, so I should have just prevented him from leaving. But okay, there he goes. Whatever. Little bit of score loss is not the worst. So yes, so Antarctica is supposed to be neutral, but I guess that's not the case anymore. But how can we get in on it? Anyway, I think the time is up now, so I better stop rambling. Let's just have a look at the messages here. And Australia. Let's just see, did I take care of all of them? Yes, I did. So just have to double check that. Oh, we've got more than half of the world's stock exchange now. Finally, we're getting somewhere. And I guess let's just ask the wise man in the south, what does he think about all this colonization efforts in Antarctica? What do you get from sitting on the ice too long? Polaroids. So he's saying don't do it. Anyway, there we go. So who did that now? India and Pakistan failed though, but okay. And I see Taiwan is almost done. So we'll take this further in the next episode. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.